Hello, everybody. I am Heather with Heather's Healthy Hacks. Welcome to all of you who are new here, and to all of you those that are coming back, welcome back. I started this channel because I really love researching about things that can be a healthier option for my family. Surprisingly, my kids don't want to hear me rant about toxic plastic or about extra virgin olive oil. I know, rude. So this particular video is kind of a jump off from the video that I put on earlier about plastic containers. I don't like to just talk about problems. I like to talk about what we can do about them solution wise. So that's what this video is about. So what do we know, just to recap in case you did not see the other video? Scientists have found that some of the chemicals that are in the plastic containers that we use do leach into the foods that are in them. Not to mention that also tiny bits of plastic from those containers can flake off and also get into the food. Especially if you're using those to-go containers from a restaurant, those are particularly bad for you. Heat and extreme cold. So what do we do with storage containers? We put them in the fridge and then we put them in the microwave to heat them up, right? Wrong. Stop doing that immediately. Microwaving plastic or putting it in the dishwasher causes the chemical bonds in plastic to start to break down. And you guessed it, it ends up in your food. So other than just in general not wanting to eat plastic, why is it bad if we ingest that plastic? Well, it's bad because it causes and increases your risk of cancer, obesity, reproductive problems, and all sorts of other health problems. So what happened with plastic over the last couple of decades? So scientists have figured out that BPA is a really bad guy, and that is really used in a ton of the Tupperware that we use, or at least it was before 2010. What that is, though, is you'll be walking down the store, right, and you'll see this is BPA free and that's BPA free. And if you were like me back in the day, you were like, what the heck is BPA? It must not be good because everything's saying now it's not in it. So it gives you that false sense of security that, okay, it's saying this, it must be fine. Well, what they're not telling you is that, yeah, it is BPA free, but instead now they're using a chemical called BPS, which is, newsflash, no safer than BPA. So look, I know it's not realistic to think that you are going to run to your cabinets right now and throw out all your Tupperware. It's expensive to do that, and we all know times are tough. But if you can start to do just a little bit at a time, a little bit of swapping. So if your Tupperware is starting to break down and you're saying, okay, it's time to get a new Tupperware, maybe you can think of getting something other than plastic to store your food the next time. For those of you that are going to continue on using plastic, and I know you're out there, I can understand that you may do that. So for those of you that do want to continue using plastic, there are some things that you need to remember if you are going to do that. Obviously, do not heat your food in them. We've just talked about that. Do not store anything hot in them. So if you just get done making your food, let the food cool off before you transfer it over into the plastic container. Don't be storing acidic things in there that can break down the plastic and cause those chemicals to get into your food as well. Do not keep them if they're cracked or scratched or something like that. Also, don't keep them if they start to get cloudy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like when you hold it up to the light, you can no longer really, not that you could really see through it anyway, but you know what I mean? It just gets to where it's like absolutely you couldn't see through it at all. So that's when you want to get rid of it, because that's an indicator that the chemicals in there are starting to break down. And lastly, if you are still holding on to your mom's Tupperware from before 2010, get up right now, sprint to your kitchen, and pitch it. I know a lot of you remember those Tupperware parties from the 80s when your mom would bring home that Tupperware that when you would say these days, they don't even make Tupperware like this anymore. And, you know, they don't. And there's a reason, because it's full of really super bad chemicals, including BPA. So how do you know if you have these containers? If you pick them up and you knock your hand against it, it'll sound a little like, that's how you know. If you hit it with a sledgehammer, the sledgehammer would walk away crying. If you know, you know. For those of you that don't like eating plastic and are ready to make the switch, or at least start to, then I have some options for you. I will put the links in the description below of where you can get the products, and talk a little bit about what the pricing is, what the benefits are, and things like that. I predominantly will be opening packages that are glass, but there are other options. You could do ceramic. You could do also do stainless steel. You know, there's a lot of different options out there. But we are going to unbox some now. So the first thing I will be unboxing is the Eat Neat set of 5 glass canisters with bail and trigger clasps. These jars are 17 ounce to 68 ounce, and I found them on Amazon for $34.95 per box. I will be linking that in the description for those of you that decide that this is the way that you want to go. So I'm just going to open our box here. As you can kind of see, the product does come in styrofoam, which I am not a fan of, as you all know, but it's really hard to package glass. So I know right now, at least, we don't have a lot of other alternatives. So the way I do styrofoam is to flip my box. I don't know about you guys, but that's what I do. Okay, so they're packaged well as far as protecting the product, but again, we don't love styrofoam. So I'm going to open it up and see what we're working with here. Ooh, I really like the color of the top clasp. It's kind of like a turquoisey color. I think that's really nice. The glass is really heavy, like much heavier than I would have thought for the price. And it just has that trigger bail clasp there, just opens like it normally would. These little bands here can be taken off completely. This is obviously for sealing, so if you need it to be airtight seal, you'll want to leave this on. I'm going to try not to use this as much as possible because it does feel like it's probably some kind of like silicone, and again, I'm not a huge fan. I know right now with a lot of stuff, there's not a lot of other options, so we got to go with what we got to work with. So for that, if you need it airtight, use this. Otherwise, you can probably still latch it and get away with it. Yeah, so it'll still latch. You can still put your leftovers in there if you have something like that. I know it's not necessarily maybe ideal for certain leftovers that you want to put in these containers, but I think it works. So this is the first one, and then I'll bring out the next size. So it's kind of a, you know, you can kind of see how big that is. Again, the glass is just surprisingly hard and heavy, and I really like that. And let me just pull them all out so you can see them. And I do believe also that you can replace these, that you can buy replacements for these for most of the canisters that I was looking at. So getting into this one, again, pretty easy to open. This can slide on and off again. This one was off already, so I'm just putting it back on there. It kind of slipped off. Again, you can kind of see the size of it when I have it in my hand. And then I'm going to grab these other 2 so that you guys can see. I really like the blue. The blue is actually surprisingly kind of cool. I did not really notice it when I was buying it, but it really kind of gives it a pop of color, and it's a really pretty color in person. So, and again, this is a huge container. I mean, you could put your, obviously like spaghetti would be something that I would put in here. If you have cookies, cookie jar, you know, those kind of things. And then when you open this container, they even added in some, hold on and wait for it, some labels that you can put on your jars. Isn't that really cool? I actually forgot that that was in there when I ordered it. So, a marker as well. So this comes with it so that you can mark all your things. You can change it up. And again, the white marker, which is pretty sweet. Okay, you guys, I have to talk about this product because this afternoon, me and my daughter just happened to be going into Costco, and she knows I was going to be doing this video today. And here we saw another set of 4 of those jars that were very similar to the ones I just showed you. However, there's 4 jars in this one. And again, I got this at Costco today for $19.99. So it was a pretty big deal to me, and I thought, you know, that's a pretty good price. So I think I'm going to check these out too. So it is La Parfait brand. Again, there are 4 canisters in here with the seals. It does say on the box, made in France. Geez, those guys are busy. So anyway, let me open them up and see what we have. So I'm going to pull them out. Pretty similar in quality to the other jars that I was showing you guys, but significantly, I would say smaller. Let me grab the big one and show you guys what I mean. But as far as like quality goes, I would say that these are similar quality. Same weight, open up really easily. Also have the seals in here, but instead of just the one on the jar, they come with 2. So in case your seal wears off, there's some extras, which is kind of a good deal. Then you don't have to buy them later if that happens. Let's see. Like I said, it will shut even without the seal in there. And also, I don't like the color as much. I would say I really like the turquoise color as I was talking about. This is more of like an orange color, and I don't love it, but I just think it's just not as pretty as the other one. However, I have seen on Amazon that you can just buy rings, so you could probably find something similar on Amazon if you wanted to swap up the color or something like that. The other thing about these, there's only 4 instead of 5 because there was 5 in that other package, and I would say that's probably the main difference there. The latch also maybe feels a little bit different than the other one, but I did notice on Amazon that these were a lot more expensive than they were at Costco. So it's July 2024, so I don't know how long they'll have that price at Costco, but I'd say it's a pretty good deal, especially if you're going to be replacing several of them, as opposed to the other ones because they're a little bit more expensive. I also like maybe a little bit that there are some smaller sizes because we're going to be using them for food. Like leftover food, and so we don't need like a bunch of these ginormous ones, you know what I mean? Ginormous, you know what I mean? Okay, now we are going to do our next product, which is the Eat Neat set of 4 glass canisters with stainless steel lids. I also got these on Amazon, and they were $29.95 for the set, and they have 4.7 stars, which I don't know about you guys, but I don't usually jump to buying a product until I've seen the stars and I can look at the reviews to see if this is a product that I even want to bother getting, because who likes to go to Whole Foods and return stuff all the time, right? So I try to at least check it out before it comes. Okay, so it says on here that there's an extra large 72-ounce container that can be used for pasta, cereal, cookies, and more. There's a large 55-ounce, great for flour, rice, and more. Medium 38-ounce, and that would be good for grains, rice, and baking supplies. Or the small one is 27 ounces, and that could be perfect for like candy or something along those lines that you just want to set on your countertop. Okay, so I'm going to open the box and see what we have. Again, it's Eat Neat, and again, they used styrofoam, which I'm not a huge fan of. You guys know this, but that's what they're using. So I'm going to go ahead and open these and flip it over. Oh, that was a nice sound. Okay. Yeah, I'm just not loving the styrofoam, but if you can get past that, I guess it's good. It's packaged well and won't break on you. Let's hope. Okay, so the big container is huge. It is also a pretty huge container. Similar in size, I would say, to the other one that had the clasp. But again, like it said, it gave you some ideas that you could use to put food into these. I'm just going to pull them all out so you can kind of see them side by side. And of course, they didn't break because they were well packaged in the styrofoam. Okay, so I'm going to open it up and see what we're looking at. So it's a stainless steel lid, which is good because then we're staying away from the plastic, which we all know No. But so that's a good thing. The problem with lids, though, especially if we need the air tightness of it and things like that, a lot of lids will still have some plastic or some silicone or some kind of something in the lid. But I guess the way I'm kind of making that okay in some regards in my mind is that, I'm not going to fill my containers way to the tippy top. I'm just going to put it maybe 3/4 full, so that even if my lid does have some kind of nasty stuff in it that we don't like, it's not going to be touching my food and my kids' food, more importantly, and so that I can keep it away. And then, of course, like any of these containers, if you wanted to heat something in them, you could do that, but I take the lid off and take the lid off of anything that you're making. Just cover it with a paper towel. Okay, last but not least, we have the Komui. Probably not. I'm probably saying that completely wrong, but you get the idea. You can read it here if you want to search for it. It's 24-piece glass food storage, $31.99 on Amazon. It's got the airtight lids, freezer, and oven safe without the lid. As you're going to see, there is plastic on it, which you obviously know I'm not a fan of, but I wanted to give you guys lots of different options to even just be getting things better a little bit each day. So the container's glass, which is a check mark, right? We love that, but the lid is plastic. So again, go with the filling it only 3/4 full, making sure you don't heat it, freeze it, things like that. So, all right, so I am going to open this container. It looks like it has some packaging tape on it, so I need to get my tool so that we can get into opening this package. You guys know what I mean? Okay. So I'm opening this up. For 24 containers, the package is smaller than I thought, so I mean, that's good. Okay. Package so far in other cardboard, which is a good thing for me because, again, I love styrofoam. Okay, pulling it out, if you guys can see. When you open it, it looks like this. So this was on top, and I just pulled this off, and this is the first thing you see. Okay, so I'm pulling it out. You can kind of see there's a smaller one inside. I know it's really hard to see with the glare, but I'll pull it out all the way so you can see what I mean. I just want to get everything out of the box first. So there's different size containers, more cardboard, which again I love compared to the styrofoam. There's square containers, there's round containers, which I also love. And then there's also rectangular containers at the very bottom. All right, so this is what you get once you get it all open. And put that to the side. Okay, so here's your rectangular ones. And there's containers inside of containers, if you didn't notice that. All right, and then here's the round, and here is the little square containers. Okay, I'll open these really quickly for you. And they have some plastic on them for packaging. We can't win all the battles in one day. Okay, so we're just gonna start off slow. All right, it's really kind of, almost feels like a saran wrap, and it sounds like saran wrap. I'm pretty sure that's probably what we're dealing with here. And it's really clingy, so that's kind of a pain to get all that off, but whatever, not that bad. Okay, so inside this container is another container, just a itty bitty little brother container. Okay, so it clasps on. Each one has the plastic lid and the plastic clasp, but I think I read that, and I'm pretty sure, you can double check me on Amazon, that this seal in here is silicone, I think. Still does not make the lid microwave or dishwasher safe, right? Okay, just remember that. And then this is a very itty bitty little container. I mean, it's pretty small, but I'm sure you'll find a reason to use it. Baby food, maybe? I don't know. All right, so those, and everyone has a nice little lid. It seals well, and it clasps on really good. So that's pretty sweet. Okay, that part of it I love. All right, let me get everybody out of here. Let me get all the containers out so you can see them all kind of next to each other. I know, again, with clear plastic and glass, it is kind of hard to see it on tape, but hopefully you kind of get the idea. So, all right, and These are the round ones. So they kind of go up in size, and there's almost like, and so obviously if they're stacking them like this for packaging, they would stack very nicely in your cabinet also and not take up a whole bunch of space, which we all don't like, I'm sure. Okay. And inside of these, there's also like a cardboard protector as well for that. So you can kind of see, and I'm going to try to spread these out a little bit better. So there's 4 different sizes of each one. And I'll get these last ones out of here for you. So pretty nice set. I mean, for the price, if you can get past the plastic lid and you can kind of get over that, I mean, it's a pretty nice set for storage and stuff like that, considering that the bottom is still glass, and you can work around maybe the plastic lid by just putting in some safety precautions, like not filling it full, and definitely not microwaving or dishwashing, people. Okay, there you go. This is all of it, the 4 containers of each and their lids. And I don't know. I'm going to be truly honest with you. I thought, I'm sending this back. I'm just going to give this as an option. I'm still on the fence about that. But now that I have it open and out, it's really, the glass is nice. It's heavy. I can see how this would be really convenient versus some of the other canisters, just the way that they're the longer ones and stuff like that. And sometimes you don't need just like a big container. You just need some little itty bitty container for something. So I wouldn't say I'm going to keep them yet, but I'll keep you posted.